What's up guys, it is Chris back with another watch video, and today we are looking at this, the Fieldmaster. This is from a very small micro brand startup in Canada. Their brand name is Canister Watches, and they've just recently produced some prototypes. I actually follow the owner on Instagram. He is the owner of Island of Misfit Watches on Instagram, so I'll put a link to his Instagram down below. They also have a Canister Watches Instagram. I'll put a link to that and a website. And he sent over this watch, which is called the Fieldmaster. So this is a field watch for me to review. And usually when I start a review, I don't start with the price unless I think it's very relevant to the actual review. So I usually don't lead off with it because I don't think it's that important until I actually speak about the watch, but I think it's a main selling point of this watch. $299. I'm going to get into the specs also. So $299 is what they're going to be initially offering this watch at. And you can see there's a sweep second. This is an automatic watch. It's getting a Miyota 9000 series at that $299 price. I think that's really good. So I'm going to get into the specs. This is a 41 millimeter watch. I've measured it a few times. Depending on where you actually measure it on the case, I'm getting 41.1, and I'm also getting 40.8, 40.9. So it's depending on where you're actually measuring it. You get these crown guards. So it wears like a 41 or a 42 millimeter watch, probably closer to that 42 millimeter number. Like I said, you're getting a Miyota movement in here. It's a Miyota 9000 series, so hacks and hand winds. It's a 9015. That's because you have the date there at 3 o'clock, taking the place of the 3 o'clock indice. Personally, I don't really love having a date. However, I think it works okay on this watch. I would prefer to have a cleaner dial with the 3 o'clock indice there and no date whatsoever. However, it does work. It's not color matched, but it does match the color of the indices. So that is fine. You get a glossy blue dial on here. 12-hour dial, and then on the inside of the dial you're getting a 60-minute scale. You have a minute track on the outside of the dial, and then just the logo there. You have sort of like sword hands on here, and then a lollipop on that second hand. Everything is lumed. We'll do a lume shot towards the end. The dial is sort of glossy. It's not matte. It's definitely on the glossier side, and so is the ceramic bezel. You get a black ceramic bezel on here. The black ceramic bezel has white lettering. I believe that the only thing that is loomed is that triangle. We will do a lume shot at the end so we can check that out. And it just says automatic right there, Canister, the logo, and that is it. So a pretty simple dial. Thickness on here is just above 12 millimeters. So it is 200 meters of water resistance. You get a flat sapphire crystal, which basically sits directly into that bezel. So you are getting a 12 millimeter thickness, which I think is actually really good considering you're getting that 200 meters of water resistance. Now, one measurement on here, which isn't so great, is the actual lug to lug. I believe with these mail-in links, I measured around 58 millimeters or 59 millimeters, so 58.8 millimeters. Without it, it's around 51 millimeters, so 50.8. That is very large. That is something that I think will make it a little bit harder for people with smaller wrists to wear because it will hang over your wrist, and that is because you're getting mail-in links. And I think that the mail-in links on here, they're going to be changing because it doesn't really line up with the case. It does add a lot of girth to this watch. So hopefully they can correct that a little bit if they are changing that. Other than that, wearing it on a strap if you have a smaller wrist. It will come with two straps. It will come with a NATO strap, and I believe also this strap right here, which is just the sort of a vulcanized rubber strap, which is really nice. And you get a signed buckle on here, which is milled. So two straps at that $299 price point with this bracelet. That is pretty damn good. One other complaint that I would have, not really a complaint, but the crown is small. It's extremely grippy. I think it's 5 millimeters is what I measured. Spot on 5 millimeters. I think it should be at least a 6 millimeter crown, and then maybe 2.5 millimeters, a little bit actually longer. I think that it should stick out a little bit more. Maybe adjust the crown guards a little bit. I'm not sure if they could actually do that still, but a little bit bigger would be nicer just for aesthetics, really. I think that the crown for my hands works pretty well, and I have large hands. It actually is very, very grippy. Have no problem unscrewing it and screwing it back in. Works very well. The bezel has a very similar grippiness to it as the crown, and that's because it has that sort of cross pattern on here, which is very grippy. And let's listen to the bezel action. Very nice, very solid action. Sounds really good. Everything lines up very nicely on this watch. I really do like it. I like the bezel action on here. Again, ceramic bezel is glossy, so you have to like that. You're getting a glossy dial, glossy bezel. Sort of to contrast that, I think that they went with an entirely brushed case and bracelet. The only thing that is polished on this entire thing, on the entire watch, is this edge on the buckle. The buckle is your generic sort of standard issue, milled class for a micro brand. You do get plenty of positions, 6 positions of micro adjust. However, I have seen this on many, many, many watches, and it wouldn't be nice to see something a little bit different. However, at this price, again, I think this is a really good buckle for $299. You really can't beat it. And it is also signed, finished very nicely, and looks very good. Also, it's very functional, so it's definitely not bad. It's just not creative, I guess, is what I would call it. The bracelet, the integration into the actual case, I think that's a little bit wonky, but it works. I just don't think it looks the greatest, but it definitely does work. Finishing overall, I wish there was a chamfered edge. Again, for $299, I know that's going to be really hard to do. I think the finishing is good. I don't think it's great. It's not sharp, but it's not exactly smooth on the edges. And the case back also a little bit rough. And the case back is meant to mimic a mortar shell, I believe. And I ironically always keep one on my desk. It's a clock that I keep right here. That's a little Elgin clock that someone built into a shell. It's a 90 millimeter shell and it's brass. Very, very cool. So $299, you're getting ceramic. You're getting an automatic Miyota 9015. You're getting a bracelet, 2 straps, 1 rubber, 1 NATO, and just a very reliable clasp, a very reliable movement. Obviously, the bezel is very good. It's going to be something that's going to last you a very long time. If you're okay with the plain finishing, I think this is an excellent bargain for $299. I'll show it to you on my 7.5-inch wrist, just to show you how it looks on my wrist. I don't have it sized for my wrist, but very quickly, let me show you what I have on, and then we'll throw it on there. Today I have undone. This is the Astro Boy, just a really awesome, very weird watch. It is a quartz watch, but you do get a display case back. Undone have been doing this for quite some time. They've done this on a bunch of different watches, but they actually frosted it, and it looks phenomenal. I think this is just like one little issue with this watch that I think can be improved, but otherwise, this is a really cool watch at a pretty good price too. So here is Canister Fieldmaster on my wrist. You can see on my wrist it looks really good. I have a 7.5-inch wrist. That lug width does not bother me whatsoever. I think it fits excellent on my wrist. It looks like it will be a very comfortable watch. It feels very comfortable, but it does wear like a 42 millimeter watch. For me, 42 millimeters definitely works. You could see that the thickness actually works really well. 12 millimeters sits nicely on my wrist. Overall, a very appealing watch, especially considering that $299 price point. I think it's going to go up after they first initially launch. But if you are interested in this, as I say, always go for that early bird special. $299 is a very good price. So, larger crown definitely would be nice. Chamfered edges, even if those are brushed as well, I think that would be really good. The bracelet is fine, all brushed. It's nicely finished. I think it has push pins, which is fine, which definitely works again at this price point. Buckle is sort of generic, but definitely works again for this price point. I think it's excellent. Sort of looks like there's a few different Seikos it might look like. It looks like there's another Canadian brand that's a military brand. I believe it is Marathon. The dial kind of reminds me of that. Even the case shape a little bit. The way that the bezel actually sits really high and is very grippy and very easy to use. Chris, who is the owner of the brand or the person who's starting this brand, has military background, so he used some of that background in designing this watch. You definitely can see that. Anyway, very quickly, let's do a Lume shot. I don't know if the Lume is good on here. I have not seen it, but let's do a Lume shot and check it out. Okay, so it's not applied everywhere. You don't have Lume on the bezel, which is, of course, understandable at the price of $299. The hands and the second hand and the hour and minute hands are liberally applied. That triangle is also liberally applied. The plops that are on each of the indices, the triangles that are at the primary indices, I wish that they were a little bit bigger maybe, or maybe they actually loomed the actual numerals. That would have worked a lot better because you get more surface area, therefore you get more lume, you get more brightness. That would have worked a little bit better. The Lume isn't hanging on very well on those indices either, so not an incredible application of Lume. Again, you're paying $299. It's decent, but it's not incredible. So definitely a very nice package you're getting. I'm not sure what the ultimate packaging will be for this watch, if they're going to include a box or if they're going to do a roll. If they're doing a roll at $299, is really, there's a no-brainer here. This is a very good watch with a very good movement, especially for that $299 price. You're getting 2 straps. Even if they're giving you a box and not a roll, I think it's a really good price. Either way, they've done a really good job at giving you a lot of value in this watch. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Like I said, I don't often lead off with the price that early on in the video, but I think it's the major selling point for this watch, considering the movement. I'm not sure they're making much money on this, and I think they probably just want to get into market and get watches in people's hands, see the quality. The quality is very good, and then maybe eventually raise the prices. But so if you are interested, definitely jump on board early so you can get that really good initial price. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I want to hear from you guys. Please also don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell icon. It is super helpful for the channel. I very much appreciate it. Please follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is WatchChrisBlog. I have some links in the description. Those links are to Amazon. If you click those links and buy anything, it helps support the channel. It doesn't cost you anything extra. However, I very much appreciate it. Anyway, thank you for logging on. I'll catch you guys in the next video.